Hello and a very good afternoon to you. I'm Rachel reporting live from 𝐂𝐤𝐴 Studios in Sydney. And it's lunchtime here, time for the mid-market pulse. The Australian share market started in an upbeat mood today as firm global cues and a rise in commodity prices boosted sentiment. The equity market witnessed broad-based buying led by index heavyweights CSL, BHP, Commonwealth Bank, Whitehaven Coal, Myer, Austal and Telstra. The easing COVID-19 curbs in some part of the New South Wales region, as well as new defence pact between the US, Australia and the UK, also injected positivity into the market. The benchmark index, the ASX 200, was trading higher at 7,470 by lunchtime. The Aussie market opened higher today, tracking firm cues from Wall Street and gained as much as 1% to hit a high of 7,487.6. In overnight trade, the US stocks closed higher on a rise in oil prices and stronger economic data. The Dow Jones surged 0.68%, while the S&P 500 rallied 0.85%, and the Nasdaq Composite added 0.82% during the session. Back home, investors also reacted to jobs data. Australia's unemployment rate dropped to 4.5% in August, compared to 4.6% a month earlier. The fall in the jobless rate was reported despite lockdowns in New South Wales and Victoria, which forced businesses to lay off workers and slash hours. The data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics showed employment fell by 146,000 in August, compared to economists' forecasts of 80,000. Moving on now to the sectoral front, 9 of 11 indices were trading in the green. That's barring tech and consumer discretionary. The energy sector was the best performer with a 1.6% gain, owing to a strong rise in crude prices. Crude oil prices climbed by more than $2 a barrel in overnight trade after data showed a higher than expected drawdown in the US crude inventories. Among others, telecom and materials sectors also witnessed a surge in buying activities and rose over 1%. Utilities, industrials, financials and healthcare sectors also traded higher with decent gains. Let's now look at the top gainers and losers at the mid-session trade. Gold miner Chalice Mining topped the gainers list by rising 8.3%. Some of the other notable gainers were chemicals business Incitec Pivot, insurance broking firm AUB, agro-based firm Nufarm and building products manufacturer CSR. On the flip side, online retailer Redbubble was top loser on the ASX with a 5.75% loss. Some of the other worst performers were investment firm Washington H. Soul Pattinson, gaming company SkyCity Entertainment, tech firm WiseTech Global and telecom service provider Spark New Zealand. Let us look at some stocks that are grabbing investors' attention today. Shares of defence contractor Austal jumped almost 5%. That's as the investor cheered the new pact between the US, Australia and the UK. Under the new defence agreement, Australia will acquire its first fleet of highly prized nuclear-powered submarines. The deal is seen as a move to counter China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific region. The Australian-based global shipbuilding company builds ships for the US Navy and has facilities here in Australia and the US. It's a global defence prime contractor which designs, constructs and sustains some of the world's most advanced commercial vessels. The share price of Whitehaven Coal climbed over 5%. That's after Australia's largest independent coal miner got approval for a New South Wales mine. The Environment Minister, Sussan Ley, has given the last outstanding approval to the company that was required to restart the Vickery coal mine in New South Wales. Iron ore miner Fortescue Metals, their shares rose almost 1%. That's after they established a culturally safe joint venture with Wintarawi. The company informed its shareholders this morning that it's established a joint venture with the Aboriginal Corporation of Wintari Gurama to oversee new mines development at Fortescue Solomon Hub operations. The JV will mine the East and West Queens deposits in eastern Gurama country. It will happen under a 10-year mining services contract to be awarded to the new JV worth over $500 million. Moving on, Australian department store chain Myer, their shares jumped 14% on robust earnings. The high street retailer's net profit after tax stood at $50.7 million for financial year 2021. The company swung back to profit despite ongoing business disruptions caused by lockdowns. That's thanks to strong growth in online sales. Shares of Jadar Resources traded flat after the company signed a pact to acquire lithium, tin and tantalum assets in East Pilbara. It's entered into an agreement to acquire 80% of the Shaw River project in the West Pilbara region of Western Australia from 𝐿𝐴𝐼𝐻. The transaction involves cash payments of $50,000 and $400,000 worth of Jadar ordinary shares at 3 cents apiece. The acquisition strategically expands Jadar's portfolio of mining assets to service the battery technology and high-growth electronics sectors. The Shaw River project, located 220 kilometres from Port Hedland and 70 kilometres from Marble Bar, comprises an exploration licence application comprising 22 blocks. The area's got a strong history with successful mining of tantalum and tin, a part of the Shaw River Tinfield project, and it demonstrated potential for lithium and rare earth minerals. Let's look at another stock now. Shares of Australian pharmaceutical industries rallied almost 15% on receiving a revised non-binding proposal from Wesfarmers. In the proposal, they propose to acquire 100% shares of Australian Pharmaceuticals for cash consideration of $1.55 a share. That's a 35.4% premium of the closing price of $1.14.5. That was on the 9th of July. Earlier in July this year, Wesfarmers had offered a proposal of $1.38, which was rejected by the API board. The revised proposal provides for the payment of fully franked dividends of up to 5 cents per share, including a final dividend. Following the announcement, shares of Wesfarmers were trading marginally lower. Shares of Domain Holdings were up nearly 1% after it agreed to acquire Insight Data Solutions in a deal worth up to $159. The acquisition will help the real estate website expand its property data and valuation products to government and financial institutions. Domain, which is majoritarily owned by Nine Entertainment, will pay $60 million up front to acquire all their shares. The share price of Jupiter Energy zoomed 130% after the company issued a business update. It was regarding a legally binding framework agreement for the development and lodgement of a development plan focused on gas utilisation projects. The company will develop infrastructure to achieve 100% gas utilisation in the Acon North, Acon East and West Zeta Bar oil fields. Shares of Vintage Energy rose over 3% after it announced the results of the independent certification of contingent resources for the Odin field in the Copper Basin. The results showed around 190% increase in the Odin Field 2C contingent resources booking when compared to pre-drill 2U prospective resources. The Odin Valley gas fields combined constitute a sizable and potential scalable Cooper Basin gas province that can supply significant quantities of gas to the east coast of Australia for at least the next 20 years. Worley Parsons shares dropped nearly 3% after Jacobs Engineering Group sold shares in the company. They said Jacobs entered into a block trade agreement with Citigroup Global Markets to sell its entire 9.85% stock in Worley. Jacobs became a Worley shareholder following the acquisition of Jacobs Energy Chemicals Resources Division back in October 2018. That's all from me for now. Stay tuned to 𝐾𝐞 𝐂𝐨 TV for more updates. I'm Rachel, signing off for now.